I start recording before I even reach the tracks because I need proof that I am not imagining it. My phone is in my hand, camera on, microphone hot. I say the date and time out loud. I pan across the station entrance, the ticket machines, the poster with a smiling family that looks too clean to be real. I keep the lens steady like that matters. Then I step onto the train platform and the arrival screen lights up with a destination that is my full name. Not a city, not a line, not a terminal. My name, first and last, spelled exactly right. The same exact spacing. Even the middle initial I only use on official forms. My mouth goes dry. I swing the phone up so the screen fills the frame. The camera app shows the platform. It shows commuters. It shows the old man with a newspaper and the woman in a bright scarf. It shows the empty track and the yellow safety line. But on my phone, the arrival board is blank. In the real world above the tracks, the board reads my name in cold orange pixels. In my recording, it is empty like the station never installed it. I zoom in. I step closer until the board is almost above my head. I hold my phone up at an angle trying to catch the glow. I tap the screen to focus. The camera refuses to see it. I whisper my name like it might disappear if I say it too loud. The board flickers. The letters hold steady. My name stays there. I flip the camera to selfie mode to show my face and the board behind me, to prove I am reacting to something real. Behind my head, the board is still blank. I turn around slowly, still filming, and point the lens at the board again. What? My hand starts to shake. I stop recording and open the Photos app, thinking maybe the camera is glitching. The last clip shows me walking onto the platform, breathing too fast, then raising my phone toward nothing. I start recording again. I tell myself there is a rational explanation. A refresh rate mismatch. A weird LED frequency. Something about how cameras see screens. I have read about that, but I have never seen it happen to a destination board, and I have never seen it happen only when the destination is my name. I look around for anyone else reacting. Nobody looks up. People stand in their own bubbles of distraction. A teenager scrolls, thumb moving like a metronome. A man in a suit stares past the tracks as if he is waiting for a life to arrive, not a train. A couple argues quietly about nothing. I step toward the information kiosk and clear my throat. A station attendant sits behind the glass, face lit by a monitor. He does not look up. I tap the counter lightly. He glances at me with the practiced boredom of someone paid to absorb other people's problems. I point toward the board. My voice is careful. I do not want to sound insane. Do you see the destination? He follows my finger with his eyes. He squints. He looks back at me. See what the board above the tracks still reads my full name. I swallow. I try again. The arrival screen. It says he interrupts, already looking away. It says eastbound local. 12 minutes. He says it like he is reading it. My skin prickles. I look back up. My name. Not eastbound local. I glance at the attendant again. His eyes are on his monitor. His face is blank. I step away from the kiosk and force myself to breathe. I decide to take a photo with the still camera instead of video. Sometimes that works. I lift my phone, frame the board, and press the shutter. The photo shows the platform. The board is a black rectangle. I open the image, zoom in until the pixels break apart. Nothing. My hands feel too large, like I am wearing someone else's skin. I need a different kind of proof. I dig into my pocket and pull out the crumpled parking ticket from earlier. I parked in the lot across the street because I was running late for a meeting downtown. The ticket is folded in half, damp from my sweating fingers. The paper is cheap and thin. The ink is sharp. It shows a stamped time that has not happened yet. It reads 21:47. My phone says 19:12. I stare at the numbers until they blur. I check my phone again, as if time might have jumped without telling me. Still 19:12. The parking ticket is wrong. I feel a cold weight in my stomach, the kind you get when you realize you left the stove on, except deeper, more personal. I turn the ticket over. The lot name is printed at the top. The date is today. The time is still 21:47. I think about the board, about the camera refusing to see my name, about the attendant reading something else entirely. I do not like where my mind goes. I start walking along the platform, away from the crowd, toward the far end where the lights are dimmer and the advertisements are older. The arrival board repeats the same entry every few seconds. The orange pixels pulse, refresh, settle. Destination, my full name. Arrival, 2 minutes. I check my phone. 19:14. A train cannot have a destination that is a person. I know that. I say it under my breath like a fact can shield me. I am not imagining it. I try to call my friend Mateo, the one who always answers and always has a grounded explanation. The call rings. Once, twice, then it goes silent. Not declined, not connected, just silent. I pull the phone away and look at the screen. The call timer is running. 005, 006. But there is no sound, no breathing, no background noise, just nothing. Mateo, I say, forcing calm into my voice. Nothing. I hang up. My recent calls show the attempt. I tap it again. This time, the contact name is not Mateo. It is my full name. I feel my scalp tighten. I back out and search my contacts. Mateo is still there. I tap his name. I hit call. The screen shows my full name again. I cancel. I lock the phone and shove it into my pocket as if it might bite. The train arrives with a sound that is too soft for something that heavy. The air changes. The platform lights flicker once, like a plank. The train is old, metal side streaked with grime. The windows are dark, reflective, showing the platform instead of the inside. The door is open. No one gets off. People begin to board as if this is normal. They move with the slow patience of commuters, shoulders angled, eyes half closed. I stand still. The arrival board above the door still shows my name. A man brushes past me and steps inside. A woman in the bright scarf follows. The old man with the newspaper goes in without looking up. I do not move. Something in me insists that if I step into that train, something will happen that I cannot undo. The parking ticket in my pocket feels hot, like a brand. I force myself to take it out and look at it again. 21:47. I look up at the station clock. 19:16. Time has not caught up. I look back at the train. The open doorway is a rectangle of darkness. No interior lights. No visible seats. Just a blackness that swallows the platform reflections. A voice behind me says my name. My full name. Spoken softly, as if testing how it feels in the mouth. I whip around. No one is looking at me. People stream past, stepping into the dark doorway. Their faces are calm, blank, their eyes sliding around me like I am part of the station architecture. My throat tightens. My name again, closer this time, like it is coming from just behind my ear. I turn my head slowly. There is no one. I take a step back and bump into the bench. The impact is small, but it jolts through me. I sit without deciding to, like my body is trying to make me smaller. The train doors stay open, waiting. I stare at the empty black doorway and think of my recording, the blank board on screen, the attendant reading a different destination. I think of the call log showing my name. I think of the parking ticket with a future time. I try to anchor myself with details. The smell of metal and brake dust, the grit on the concrete, the faint hum of fluorescent lights, the taste of old coffee on my tongue. I say my full name out loud, quietly, to remind myself who I am. It comes out wrong, not the sound of the syllables, the feeling behind them, like I am saying the name of someone I knew a long time ago. A memory slides in, uninvited. I am in a place with the same fluorescent hum, the same grit, the same smell of metal, but it is not this platform. There is a door that should not be there, set into a tiled wall. The tiles are white and slightly cracked, like a public restroom that has been cleaned too many times. On the door is a sign that says platform access, authorized personnel only. I have my hand on the knob. I stop breathing. The memory is sharp and complete, like a photograph, but I have never been here before. I blink hard. The platform returns, but the sensation lingers, the cold ceramic of the knob against my palm. I look toward the far end of the platform, where the older advertisements are. There is a tiled wall. There is a door. It is exactly where my memory says it is. My heart stutters. I stand and walk toward it, every step reluctant. The crowd thins near the end. The lights buzz louder. The air feels colder. The door is real. The sign is real. Platform access authorized personnel only. The knob is worn, polished by hands. My hand lifts toward it before I can stop myself. When my fingers touch the metal, the world seems to tilt, just slightly. The hum deepens, like the station is inhaling. Behind me, the train doors begin to close. I turn my head. The doors slide together, sealing the black interior away. The train moves without a jolt, gliding forward. As it passes, the dark windows reflect the platform. In the reflection, the arrival board is visible. It reads my full name. In the reflection, I see myself standing by the door at the far end, but my face in the reflection is not focused on the door. It is turned toward the camera, toward me, and it is smiling like it recognizes a joke I do not understand. The train disappears into the tunnel. The platform feels suddenly too quiet, as if everyone left and forgot to tell the air. I stare at the empty tracks, waiting for the normal sounds to return. They do not. A faint clicking begins, like fingernails tapping lightly on tile. I turn back to the door. The knob is under my hand. The clicking is coming from the other side. My phone buzzes in my pocket. The vibration is steady, insistent. I pull it out. A notification fills the screen. Parking receipt updated. I tap it. A digital copy of my ticket appears, the same lot name, the same date. The stamped time has changed. It now matches the time on my phone, 1919. The paper ticket in my hand still reads 21:47. My vision narrows. The world is splitting into versions that cannot agree. I look up at the station clock, 1919. I look at the arrival board. It is blank now. Not eastbound local. Not any destination. Just blank. A wave of relief hits so hard my knees feel weak. Then I realize something worse. If the board is blank now, what was it showing before I know the answer, because I can still see the orange letters in my mind? My full name. But when I try to say it, the syllables slip. My tongue hesitates. The middle initial is gone. The last name feels unfamiliar, like a word in a language I used to speak as a child. I stare at my phone and open my settings. My profile name at the top is there. It is not my name. It is close, almost right, but wrong in a way that makes my teeth ache. One letter is different. I open my email. The address is wrong too. I open my bank app. My name on the account is wrong. My hands start to tremble harder. I try to remember my real name and I cannot hold it. It keeps sliding away, like wet soap. The clicking behind the door becomes a slow scratch, as if something is dragging a nail along the tile. I press my forehead to the cool metal of the door and whisper, "Tell me my name." The station hum drops out for a second, like someone muted the world. In that silence, a voice answers from the other side. It says my full name perfectly. Hearing it feels like remembering how to breathe. I grip the knob tighter. My phone screen goes dark. When it lights again, the front-facing camera is on by itself. My face fills the screen. Behind me, over my shoulder, the arrival board is visible again in the distance. On the phone screen, the board is not blank. On the phone screen, it reads a destination I do not recognize. It reads the name that my apps are now insisting is mine. The wrong name. My stomach turns. The place is editing me. Not the station in general, but something inside it. Something behind this door. Something that can reach into the parts of my mind that store the simplest facts. The scratch behind the door becomes a knock, slow and polite. 3 knocks. A pause. Then my own voice, unmistakable, speaks from the other side. It says, "Come in. You have been here before." I jerk my hand away from the knob. knob. The parking ticket in my other hand crinkles loudly in the quiet. I look at it again, desperate for something stable. The stamped time on the paper is changing now, the ink crawling, reforming. 21:47 becomes 19:19, then becomes 19:20. My phone clock flips to 19:20 at the same moment. The paper is catching up to reality, or reality is catching up to it. My pulse is loud in my ears. I step back from the door, and in that instant, the memory of the door feels less solid, like it is already being rewritten. I force myself to look away, to scan the platform for the kiosk, for the attendant, for another person. The platform is empty, not thinning, not quiet. Empty. No commuters, no bench sitter, no scarf, no newspaper, only me, the tracks, the buzzing lights, and the door. I run toward the kiosk. The glass booth is dark. The chair inside is empty. The monitor is off. I press my palms to the glass and shout for someone, anyone. My voice echoes back, thin and wrong. I turn toward the stairs leading up to the station entrance. There are no footsteps, no distant conversations, no traffic noise. It is as if the station has been sealed. My phone buzzes again. A new notification. Arrival update. I tap it. Breath held. A transit app I do not remember installing opens. The interface is clean, official, familiar in a way that makes me uneasy. It shows a single upcoming arrival. Destination. My full name. Arrival time. 21:47. The same time the ticket had before it changed. My hands go numb. The paper ticket in my hand is still changing. Ink crawling. It begins to shift back, slowly, as if pulled by an invisible magnet. 19:20 becomes 19:21. Then 19:22. Jumping, accelerating. The station clock above the track stays at 19:20. My phone stays at 19:20, but the ticket races ahead. 19:30, 19:45, 20:10. I squeeze the paper trying to stop it. The numbers keep moving. The scratch behind the door returns faster now, excited. I back away until my shoulders hit the tiled wall. The arrival board above the tracks flickers back on. This time, it shows two lines. The first line reads eastbound local. Arrival, 12 minutes. The second line reads my full name. Arrival, now. The tracks are empty. The air above them shimmers slightly, like heat on asphalt. A low vibration starts under my feet. Not the rumble of an approaching train. More like the station itself is waking up. My phone camera is still on. My face on the screen looks pale, eyes wide. In the background of the selfie view, the door at the end of the platform is open a crack. I am not opening it. My hand is nowhere near it, but it's opening anyway. A thin line of darkness spills out, deeper than shadow. The clicking comes from within, and layered under it is a sound like pages turning. Like someone flipping through a book. Through me. I try to run, but my legs hesitate. Not from fear, from confusion. For a second, I cannot remember which way leads out. The platform stretches in both directions, identical, repeating lights and suns, as if the station has copied and pasted itself. I turn in a circle, searching for the stairs I came down. There are only tiled walls. The arrival board repeats. My full name. Arrival. Now. I look at the paper ticket. It has reached 21:47 again. The ink stops moving. The knock on the door becomes a gentle tapping, like someone being patient. My own voice speaks again from inside, closer now. It says, you are late. The air above the tracks ripples harder. A shape begins to form in it. Not a train exactly, more like the idea of one drawn in darkness. My phone screen dims as if the battery is dying, even though it was full. In the last moment before it goes black, the selfie camera catches my reflection in the platform glass. The face staring back is mine, but the mouth moves without me. It mouths my full name. Then it smiles, and behind the smile, the door opens wider. I cannot remember if I have been inside already, and that is the worst part, because my hand reaches for the knob again, and I do not know if it is my decision. The ticket in my fist is stamped 21:47, and somewhere in the dark, a train is arriving with my name on it. When the door swings open enough to show what is on the other side, the station lights flicker like a blink, and I feel something in my head quietly race the word for outside.